Good morning, Quadcopter 101, and what I got for you today is a review of the new JJRC H29G warship. If you look at this thing, it's a little crony. But what's special about this little crony, which I mean, it's sized somewhere between a micro and a mini quadcopter. Well, this little micro mini has a 5.8 gigahertz FPV 720p camera on it, which means you can record in 720p HD and at the same time fly FPV with 5.8 gigahertz. What's so special about 5.8 gigahertz versus saying one of those Wi-Fi ones that uses your smartphone? Well, there's no interference with the transmitter. This enables you to get much greater range flying with a 5.8 gigahertz system than say with a Wi-Fi system. In fact, I've done preliminary flights of this already and I've been able to get this out to at least 100 meters. I am very impressed with the range of this. However, the FPV range is about 70 to 80 meters as compared. You lose signal on the screen first before you lose control of the quadcopter, in effect. What else do I want to talk about it? On-off switch, it uses a 450 milliamp hour, 3.7 volt battery. You can use 300, 350s, 380s, micro quadcopter size batteries in this. I don't think it will work with a SEMA X5C battery because the battery bay is a little bit not wide enough for that, I believe. It has on-off switch, 5.8 gigahertz, I mentioned that, and overall design, it's a nice little crony. I like it. It flies very well too, again, from preliminary flights, and you'll see how well it flies today. But let's go over the controller. This is the big news on this quadcopter, is the controller. Now the screen, the FPV screen, is integrated into the controller, which means you don't have to provide separate charging of that screen or separate batteries for that. And speaking of batteries, if you look in the controller itself, it is controlled by a LiPo battery. You can remove that LiPo and replace it with another if you wish, larger, bigger batteries, up to as much would fit in this bay here at the 3.7 volt range. But the one it comes with is a 3.7 volt, 550 milliamp hour, and it's just Velcroed in there. So, which is cool. You don't have to worry about AA batteries. I kind of like LiPos over AA's. I think they have more power per smaller volume, keeping it light. Also, less weight is what I meant. Other things on this transmitter, if you want to, it has an SD card. In addition to the SD card in the quadcopter's camera, which is right here, to record the 720p HD video, this has an SD card to record the screen video. Now the screen video is only 640 by 480 resolution that's recorded on here, but you can actually record and have a record of what you were viewing while you were flying FPV. And that's what I'm going to do today. Today I'm not going to use that sunscreen on here and with the recorder or the camera inside to record the screen. I'm going to record what I'm viewing directly onto the card. And another reason I'm not using that sunscreen either is this has a menu selection where you can adjust the brightness of the screen. So you can improve that brightness to be able to fly on a sunny day like today. You can actually see the screen in sunlight is what I'm saying. That's cool. Let's go over the buttons. If you want to take a video or record the video of the screen, and this is the screen, you press this button real quick. If you want to take a photo snapshot of the screen, you press this button real quick. Now, let's go into video a little bit more in detail. If you want to record 720p video onto the memory card on the quadcopter, now this isn't in the instruction manual, folks. I had to figure this out myself. You hold down this button for 3 seconds, and that starts the video recorder on the quadcopter's camera. When you want to stop that video, and it's very important to stop that video before shutting off the quadcopter, you press it again for 2 to 3 seconds, and that will stop that recording. If you want to take a 720p photo snapshot, you do a quick press of this button, and it will record onto the memory card on that camera's card. Other things, this does flips. You activate flips by pressing this button here and telling it which direction you wish to flip. It has headless mode and 1 key return. To activate headless mode, you do a quick press of this button and it enters headless mode, and exits headless mode with another quick press. Or if you want to do a 1 key return, where you're flying down the headless mode bearing and you want to fly it back toward you, you hold down this button for 3 seconds to enter one key return. Now, one other thing, if you want to go to higher rates, beginner, intermediate, expert, you press the throttle trim button to select the different rates. Okay, and I think that's about it. The other buttons here, the other trim buttons are actual trim buttons for yaw, pitch, and roll. So, overall, let's go into the flight of the JJRC H29G warship. Okay, the quadcopter is turned on. Turning on the transmitter. Transmitter is on. Binding to the quadcopter. And I am going to start recording of the screen by pressing this button here. And we got a red light up on the top indicating we're recording. Now I'm going to start recording of the camera by pressing the lower right button. And we should be good to go. I am going to go to higher rate just to fight any thermal breezes we might have here. Let's go for a flight of the JJRC H29G. And trying to fly by FPV alone, folks. Flying overhead. Going upwind, we got a breeze here, and it's fighting that breeze. I'm going to switch back and forth between FPV so you can see this quadcopter. That breeze is getting stronger. We got a high rate, super high rate, good. Let the wind blow it back. This is the wind, folks, by the way, flying it by me. And let's try to go down in that gully, like I said. Flying FPV through the gully. We are good 80 meters away. Oh, this is a great FPV flyer for a little quadcopter this size. Going back to a lower rate. Yeah. There we go. That's a better rate to fly FPV today. Medium. There I am. See me, folks? Flying this. Great little FPV flyer. And great range. You know, I am really surprised how well this does. Now, you know, this screen here comes with a little 500 milliampere hour battery. Really, that doesn't give you much flight time with this. You know, maybe 1 or 2 flights. I recommend if you get multiple batteries for this thing and you want to fly multiple flights, that you get a better battery for the controller screen here. Say like a 500 milliampere or 1,000 milliampere hour. That I strongly recommend that, actually. Okay, that's FPV flying with this thing. Let's try one key return, headless mode first. Headless mode, which way is the headless mode bearing? It understands that's the way, headless mode bearing. Let's try it right, left flying with it, back flying with it, going back to the right, going forward again. Let's go up there and let's try the one key return, pressing one key return, holding the button down, and here it comes backward toward us in our general direction. Let's go back upwind again. Or back down the headless mode bearing. One key return one more time. And it comes back in our general direction. So one key return works on this. How about flips? We haven't done flips yet. Let's bring it down a little lower here. We're still recording, but trying flips. There's the flips. Let's bring it in close to show you that. Flips. Flips. Great flipper. How about general flying around? Let's go at a higher rate. Let's see how acrobatic or maneuverable this thing is. Funnels. By the way, let me turn to, well, I'll leave the video on. We're going to record the whole flight and see how much flight time we get. It does funnels very well. Very maneuverable little flyer. Okay, coming around, try flips. Higher speed, flip, barrel roll. Okay, does good. Going back to intermediate rate because of the wind, and continuing on, flying FPV. There I am. Try to bring it in toward me. FPV is not as easy as you think, folks. See? Going up or downwind again. Coming back upwind. I better be flying upwind because of this wind we got today. Let's go over this direction here. So again, you know, this records both to the memory card and to the screen. 2 different buttons to activate both. You get a lot of flight time with this thing, as you can see here. Okay, letting the wind blow it past me. And almost crashed there. Coming back toward me, flying FPV. Great little quadcopter. I like this one. Out of all the JJRC FPV flyers, I like this one, particularly for the size. You can take this just about anywhere, folks. And it's quiet. It's safe. You can fly this around, folks, high, with no problem. Easy to fly, maneuverable. This actually might be better than the X250. I'm starting to think, to tell you the truth. You know, the X250, I gave that a lot of thumbs up, but this one actually seems better. Hey, you know, I'm going to stop recording now. And stop recording this too. The reason being, I want to save the battery power and see how much more flight time we can get here out of this thing, just flying around. You need to see this flying around up close. So that's what I'm going to do right now, showing you how maneuverable this is. Keep in mind I am in intermediate setting and it's windy. Got a bit of a breeze. Let's go to higher rate. Oh, and there goes our battery power, just as I go to higher rate. So, all in all, overall assessment of this thing, I like it. I like the warship, the JJRC H29G. I give this 4 to 4.5 thumbs up. I like it actually better than the X250 because you can adjust the screen brightness. You can fly this without using a sunscreen. You can't do that with the X250. I also like it because you can record the screen. That's pretty damn cool. I also like it because it's small and lightweight. It's safe to fly. There's all good points on this particular quadcopter. So all in all, I give this, actually let's bump it up a bit, 4.5. The only thing I didn't like is the battery power, the LiPo battery that's in this controller. You want to get yourself a bigger LiPo battery than what's provided with this. That 500 milliamperes will give you problems because it's just not enough power. And also, you got to remember to disconnect that LiPo battery between flights, okay? That's 2 batteries that you got to disconnect instead of 1. Okay, so overall, again, 4.5 stars. Quadcopter 101, signing out.